Hello and welcome to another edition of Conspirator Brock's Pull List. This is my pull list for the week of July 11th, 2018. It's 7-Eleven today, so apparently you can get free Slurpees at 7-Eleven, so take advantage of that if you want. But you're not here for that. You're here for my pull list. So first up we have Bloodshot Salvation number 11. Jeff Lemire's done an amazing job on this book. I enjoy it thoroughly. I'll be sad when Lemire's off of it, but Bloodshot's been really good under his writing, so we shall see where he takes the Bloodshot story before he leaves. Next up, we have Detective Comics number 984. It has Black Lightning in it and teasing a bunch of the Outsider stuff, so I enjoy it. Yeah, Detective's been really good, even if after the transition I've enjoyed Detective, so hopefully it stays strong. Next up is a book that we didn't even know was coming out. It just showed up at the shop yesterday for processing, and that is Die 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 number 1 from Robert Kirkman. Kirkman and Image basically just sent stores however many copies of this number 1 that they ordered for Oblivion Song number 1. So if a store ordered 10 copies of Oblivion Song, they got 10 copies of Die Die Die. If they ordered 100 copies of Oblivion Song number 1 on the initial order, they got 100 copies of Die Die Die. There's 10 covers to this. This is the basic cover. Each cover is different. The 9 other covers have word balloons on them where the 2 characters are speaking. There is one that has this character speaking, but they say different things. So yeah, shops didn't know that this was coming until it came, and people are going crazy for it. We actually over at Comics Conspiracy are giving a free copy to anybody who subscribed to Oblivion Song, but they'll be available for everybody else on the shelf. But I'm curious to see what the book is about. I think it's a good move by Robert Kirkman to take the risk away from retailers in ordering, a new number 1. Even though it's Robert Kirkman and it does carry some weight to it, there are shops that don't order as much as as maybe they should, because they don't want to take the risk. So this kind of cuts the risk out for those shops. So if you're curious, hopefully you can get down to your local store and pick up a copy. We have a ton of copies at Comics Conspiracy, so if you want to order one online, you can go to www.comicsconspiracy.biz and order from our website there. Next up is Flash number 50. This is Flash War Part 4. Joshua Williamson's done an amazing job with Flash. I can't wait to see what happens in Flash War. It's been good stuff. Next up we have Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps number 48. This is the Last Charge story arc starts. Hal and the Green Lantern Corps going up against the Dawn Stars as in a battle for whose justice is the right justice. It's really good stuff. Vendetti's done an amazing job on Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps. Even from his rough start after taking over after Johns, he's really come into the Green Lantern's character and the Green Lantern's mythos, so it's really good stuff. Another one by Vendetti, and that's Hawkman number 2. I enjoyed the first issue. It was really interesting. Can't wait to read issue 2, but really enjoyed it. Brian Hitch's art is amazing on it. If you haven't checked out Hawkman, you should. I really think it's going to be a decent, solid book, based on just issue 1. So, yeah. If your shop didn't order enough copies, I don't know what to tell you, but check out comicsconspiracy.biz, and we got plenty of issue 1, so yeah. Next up we have Immortal Men number 4. This is from the New Age of Heroes. This book is okay. I don't know if I like it or not. It's one of those things where I think a lot of these New Age of Heroes books, there's just too many of them came out at once and kind of flooded the market and didn't really let much get any legs whatsoever. So I'm curious to see what Immortal Men is about, but it's definitely something that I wouldn't normally pick up if it was just something completely random. The art's not bad on it, so that is kind of a sticking point where I'll at least look at it. It's nice. Next up we have Incredibles 2, Crisis in Midlife and Other Stories. issue 1. My kids like Incredibles, so I decided to grab that. Next up, we have Isola number 4. I really enjoyed the first 3 issues of this book. Curious to see where it goes. Issue 4 is on shelves. There's 2 covers. I got 1. Next up is Robert Kirkman book, Oblivion Song number 5. We're coming up on the tail end, or towards the end of what I've actually read already, because I got to read an advanced copy of Oblivion Song, which had the first 6 issues in it. But it's really nice to go back and reread it. It's a really, really good story. I highly recommend you check it out. We have plenty of copies at Comics Conspiracy, so go to comicsconspiracy.biz if you want to check out Oblivion Song. Next up, we have Plastic Man number 2 of 6. Gail Simone's writing this Plastic Man miniseries. The first issue was interesting, so I'm curious to see where she takes the character with issue 2 and the rest of the miniseries. And next up, we have Red Hood and the Outlaws number 24. And it's Red Hood, it's the Outlaws, it's not bad. Liddell's been doing a good job on it, so I'm keeping with it. Next up, we have Scooby Apocalypse number 27. Scooby Apocalypse is just a solid book. I've enjoyed it since the beginning. It's one of those books that it's really wordy, but it's really good. It's just a really good baseline book where Scooby and the gang are in basically a post-apocalyptic world of monsters and all these other creations and stuff. So it's pretty cool. Next up, we have Suicide Squad number 44. This continues the Constriction story arc, where Batman and Deadshot are trying to save Deadshot's daughter from Cobra. We'll see how that goes. Next up is a big book from DC this week, and that is Brian Michael Bendis' Superman number 1. If you got a chance to read the Man of Steel miniseries, you kind of understand what Bendis is doing and where he's what he's setting up for Superman. I'm really curious to see how he tackles writing Superman the main book and Action Comics as well, because the status quo for Superman has been really, really solid since Rebirth. Jurgens has done an amazing job with Action and getting that book to be kind of just a standard Superman adventures book, really, really solid. And then Peter Tomasi has done a fantastic job with Superman itself, bringing in a really family dynamic to the book with Clark and Jonathan and Lois, where you really kind of get to the core of these characters. So I think these two kind of differences with Superman in the writing styles, but really that kind of got back to the core of the character. It's kind of not, Bendis is not doing away with the family stuff, but he's not going to be focusing on that. So I'm not sure what that's going to entail. If Superman and Action just end up being a bunch of adventure stuff, I don't know if that's going to really work for Superman. The bringing in the family and the father-son dynamic, especially in Superman, was key to kind of keeping Superman relevant and fresh and really engaging. So we'll see what Bendis does with his Superman, but who knows. Next up, we have Titans number 23. This starts the new stuff from Abnett, where the Titans are basically cleaning up the metahuman mess from Metal. Curious to see how that pans out for the team. Titans and Teen Titans are kind of books that are kind of always on. I'm always on the fence about continuing to get. So we'll see if this one keeps my interest. And finally, on my pull list, we have Wonder Woman number 50, Dark Gods. What can I say? James Robinson's done a really amazing job on Wonder Woman. I can't wait to see what happens with this Dark God story arc. So yeah, we shall see. I got a handful of variants this week. Detective Comics had a variant for number, was it 984 and then 984. I thought that was cool, so I grabbed that one. We did get in our Flash 49 variants finally, so I was able to pick that one up. But of course there was a Flash 50 variant, so yeah, so I snagged that one up as well. Hawkman came with a pretty cool variant cover, which I grabbed right there. Titans actually had a good one too, so I picked that one up as well. Suicide Squad had a pretty cool one for 44. Superman had 3 extra covers. So there was this cover where apparently he's destroying a phone booth when he leaves it. So that's maybe why we don't have any phone booths anymore. The Mac cover for Superman. And then there is a blank cover. This doesn't look like a blank cover, but they actually ship it with this film on it that protects it. And normally they take it off before they ship it to stores, but they haven't. They didn't do it for Batman 50, and they didn't do it for Superman, so I just left mine on. And finally, the variant for Wonder Woman number 50. These variants are amazing. We keep trying to hit the right number to order because we keep selling out of them because they're just awesome. So yeah. I did grab a graphic novel this week, and it was the Wonder Woman Deluxe Edition, Wonder Woman Rebirth Deluxe Edition Book 2. This collects issues 15 to 25, annual number 1, and the DC special, holiday special from 2017. I'm not too sure why this is so thin. I'm not sure why some of the deluxe ones are thinner than others. The Batman one seems to be a really good size for the price versus this one, so we'll see. Yeah, so that's what I picked up. Kevin Sharp, who's on the Comics Conspiracy podcast sometimes with myself and the other hosts, brought something in this week for me. He goes to a lot of conventions. Well, he used to go to a lot of conventions and talk to people and get sketches and all that stuff. And he found something in his collection of stuff that he thought I would like. And it is basically a really early sketch of the animated Harley Quinn from Kevin Altieri, who basically is one of the guys responsible for Batman, the Batman Adventures, or Batman the Animated Series stuff. And that came out in '92, and this is an early sketch from '93. So this is one of the early sketches of Harley Quinn. So yeah, so I thought that was pretty cool. I like it because it's Harley. He thought I would like it, so I'm going to give it a good home. But it's always nice to get that, so thank you, Kevin, for that. I appreciate it very much. That's it for this week. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments down in the comment section below. You can also listen to me on the Comics Conspiracy podcast. We just finished recording episode 360, where we talk about Steve Ditko and his passing, as well as sales charts and a little bit Ant-Man and Wasp. So there'll be a link in the description below. You can go check it out over there. And the podcast is also in the process of uploading all the episodes onto a YouTube channel. So you can check that out as well. There'll be a link in the description below for the Comics Conspiracy YouTube channel. I don't know if I'm going to put a link in yet. We're trying to get the custom URL back for it. So we needed X amount of subscribers, so we'll see. But they're going to be uploading those to YouTube. So if you haven't checked out early episodes and you want to, they'll be there as well. You can follow me on Twitter. My handle is @BrockSager. You can help me and my fellow conspirators out through Patreon at www.patreon.com/comicsconspiracy or Comic Conspiracy. For as little as $1 a month, you help us with hosting fees and getting food sometimes before we podcast and getting products. So thank you very much to all of our backers. We do appreciate it. If you want to help me out a little more directly, you can purchase through the Amazon links on my blog or here as well. And you can also check out my eBay store for stuff that I have listed that's normally part of my purging or stuff that I randomly find that I'm getting rid of. So I do appreciate all the people that help out. It helps out immensely. This month is this next month is going to be tricky and tough due to my normal day job. I only get paid on an 11-month cycle, not a 12-month cycle, so I have to go about 2 months on virtually fumes. So any help would help out a lot. So thank you guys for that. I gotta get this up. Talk to you next week.